Imagine getting on a train in San Francisco and traveling at a speed of more than 200 miles per hour to arrive in Los Angeles, all in under 3 hours. If you live in the US, then this might sound too good to be true. Many Americans are familiar with the challenges of traveling between states, like the endless queues at airport checkpoints, or being stuck in frustrating traffic jams, which can quickly drain the excitement out of any trip. That's why California voters voted yes on high-speed rail back in 2008, which promised to revolutionize transport in the state. But here we are 16 years later, and no high-speed rail in sight in the state. And if this wasn't concerning enough, the project is now a massive $70 billion over its original budget. So what exactly is going on with this mega project? In this video, we're going to answer this question by walking you through everything we know about the California High-Speed Railway, from its history to why California is building it, as well as the challenges facing the US in its mission to build its first ever high-speed railway. Welcome back to PST Megaprojects. The US has a long history with high-speed railways, so it's actually surprising why the country doesn't have one yet. Talk of high-speed rail in the US, and specifically in California, started way back in the 1980s, right as Europe was starting to build its own high-speed rail networks after Japan unveiled its impressive bullet trains.
You sure you want to talk this out?
Not particularly, no.
Okay.
And so, the California High-Speed Rail Authority was established in 1996, but it didn't really do much until the state of California voted yes on a $9 billion bond authorization to bring a high-speed train to the Central Valley. The plan is very simple: building an electric train that will connect LA to the Central Valley and then to San Francisco in just 2 hours and 40 minutes, and that'd be the first phase of the project. Eventually, a second phase will extend from Sacramento to San Diego, totaling a distance of 800 miles and 24 stops. The high-speed railway will also reduce travel time from San Francisco to San Jose to 30 minutes, from San Jose to LA to 2 hours and 10 minutes, and from Sacramento to Los Angeles to 2 hours and 20 minutes. Keep in mind that all of these are just estimates, and travel time could actually be up to 15% shorter, depending on the bullet train's speed in shared segments. The bullet trains for the project haven't been selected yet, but some of the required specifications are known, like that they must have a lifespan of 30 years minimum, and not be longer than 210 meters in length. Additionally, they must feature control cabs at both ends of each train set and earthquake safety systems for safe stopping and exciting. They'll also be luxurious trains, as they have to have seating capacities of 450 seats, Wi-Fi, and food and drink services similar to airplane-style serving. So why is California undertaking this project? At first, connecting LA and San Francisco was never part of the plan, and the railway was just meant to bring prosperity to the lower part of the Central Valley from Sacramento to Bakersfield, because this area has a population of around 4 million people and has long been underinvested and left behind. This is one of the reasons why California decided to build this mega project, but there are other reasons, like the fact that California is the most populous US state, and the third largest when it comes to size. So it's no surprise that it's also the state with the largest economy, with a GDP of $3.7 trillion, and this means that building an important mega project in the area will definitely contribute to the state's thriving economy and make it even better. Additionally, the high-speed railway promises benefits like reducing pollution and traffic, as more people would use it to go from LA to San Francisco, instead of flying or driving, two methods of travel that are extremely harmful to the environment. Construction started back in 2015, even though the project was approved in 2008, and this delay happened thanks to California's especially strict environmental review process. Also, the Railway Authority had to deal with a lot of people getting rightfully mad at the fact that their lands had to be seized by the government for construction to continue. Notably, the California High-Speed Railway Authority has won every lawsuit that it faced because of these issues. The cost of the environmental clearing process alone was $1.3 billion, and according to Brian Kelly, CEO of the California High-Speed Rail Authority, the project has so far spent $9.8 billion, and that is as of May in 2023. But back in 2008, when the project was first approved, it was estimated that construction would cost $33 billion and would be completed by 2020. So what happened? According to Tony Tinoco, the Central Valley Deputy Regional Director at California High-Speed Rail Authority, it all came down to funding. The High-Speed Rail Authority went to California voters for a portion of the funding, but it never actually had the full funding needed to construct and complete the railway. Despite this, progress has been made on the construction, with one segment already being almost completed. But the problem is that there's not enough money left to complete the project. In fact, there are estimates that say connecting San Francisco and LA will cost as much as a whopping $128 billion. One reason behind the hikes in the project's price tag is the construction challenges, and the most challenging of all is the tunneling segment, as it'll require drilling through the imposing Tehachapi Mountains, which will be extremely hard as well as costly. Building new tunnels is necessary because the current route is not fit for passenger trains, as it includes the famous Tehachapi Loop for freight trains, meaning that it's already too full with freight trains to add passenger trains. And it's also incredibly curvy, doubling back on itself at one point. Tunnels are built for railways all over the world, in arguably worse environments. For example, we did a video a while ago about how China is drilling through the Himalayas to build a railway, and how challenging that is, so it shouldn't be too hard for the US to figure out a way to drill a tunnel into its own mountains. Another challenge to the California bullet train was finding American workers with the necessary skills to complete the project, since high-speed railways were never built in the US before. To solve this issue, the California High-Speed Rail Authority started offering training programs to recruit workers. So California is doing everything it can to get the project up and running, and it hopes that the federal government will fund at least half of the project to help with the funding issues. But that is another problem by itself. In fact, Washington's support for this high-speed railway project has been weak, and while the bipartisan infrastructure bill passed in 2021 to allocate $66 billion to rail, no money was actually set aside specifically for high-speed rail projects. The Megaproject also faced political opposition, with many Republican politicians arguing that the money would be better spent on other projects and social programs, especially after the former US president, Barack Obama, endorsed the idea of having a high-speed rail in the country. The Railway Authority had a lot to say to these critics who called it a train to nowhere. In response to the criticism, Cali said that even the initial operating segment between Merced and Bakersfield connects three of the fastest-growing cities in California. Additionally, Tinoco pointed out that the Golden Gate Bridge received some of the same criticism when it was under construction, but now no one living in San Francisco can imagine their life without it. Even though we don't know when this project will be completed, we can't deny the positive impact it had on the Central Valley. In fact, the high-speed rail megaproject has created more than 10,000 jobs so far and generated $13.7 billion for California's economy from 2006 and to 2021. We think that this project will definitely be completed, maybe in 2030 or sometime later, and that's mainly because it's very rare to see mega projects that had billions of dollars on them remain unfinished. In other words, the project has to be completed, because completing it would be cheaper than just abandoning it. It'll also add a lot of value to the country's economy, because it's expected that 40 million people will use it annually once it's completed. In addition to that, this project might be America's chance to put its name on the map as a developer and builder of bullet trains, along with industry leaders like China and Japan. Well, that is everything for now. What do you think? Will this mega project ever be completed? Please let us know in the comments below. And if you haven't, please subscribe and leave a like for this video. Your support helps us continue our work. Thanks again for your support, and I will see you in the next one.